As we go about our daily lives, we are constantly bombarded with information from various sources, such as social media, news outlets, and personal relationships. Our brains are like sponges, soaking up all of this information and processing it in various ways. However, there are two specific times during the day when our brains are more suggestible to this information: when we wake up in the morning and when we go to bed at night. When we wake up in the morning, our brain waves go from very slow delta to theta to alpha to beta. This means that our brains are transitioning from a state of deep sleep to a state of wakefulness. During this transition, our brains are more suggestible to information, as we are in a state of heightened awareness. This is a great time to set intentions for the day ahead, visualize our goals, and affirm positive thoughts. On the other hand, when we go to bed at night, our brain waves go from beta to alpha, theta, delta. This means that we are transitioning from a state of wakefulness to a state of deep sleep. During this transition, our brains are also more suggestible to information. This is a great time to slow down and engage in activities that promote relaxation and positivity, such as visualization, affirmation, and meditation. However, many people do not take advantage of these opportune moments. Instead, they wake up in the morning and immediately start thinking about their problems. These problems are memories in the brain that are connected to certain people and certain things at certain times and places. So when they start thinking about their problems, they are essentially living in the past. The moment they start having those thoughts, every one of those experiences has an emotion associated with it. This means that they are also experiencing the negative emotions associated with those past experiences. When people wake up and start thinking about their problems, they often get caught up in the negative emotions associated with those problems. This causes them to reaffirm their negative identity, and they may even feel like they are nothing without their problems. This negative cycle of thinking and feeling can be detrimental to our mental health and well-being. If we continuously think negatively about ourselves, we start to believe that we are failures. This belief then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy as we start to act in ways that confirm this belief. The more we think and feel like failures, the more our bodies become conditioned to that negative emotion. Our bodies start to believe that we are constantly in a state of failure, even if this is not necessarily true. The key to breaking this negative cycle is to get out of the past. We need to stop living in our negative experiences and start living in the present moment. When we wake up in the morning, instead of immediately focusing on our problems, we need to set positive intentions for the day ahead. We need to visualize our goals and affirm positive thoughts. This will help to condition our bodies and minds to be more positive and optimistic. It is also important to engage in activities that promote relaxation and positivity before we go to bed at night. Instead of checking our phones or watching the news, we should engage in activities such as meditation, visualization, or deep breathing exercises. These activities can help to calm our minds and promote a more restful sleep. As humans, we tend to fall into routines and patterns. We move through our lives in the same way, going to the same places, doing the same things, and watching the same TV shows day after day. It's easy to fall into autopilot, letting our bodies and minds repeat the same behaviors over and over again. Before we know it, we are stuck in a predictable future, based solely on the things we have done in the past. But what happens when we get stuck in the known, in the familiar past and the predictable future? We lose our free will and become slaves to our own programming. Our bodies drag us into a future that we have already lived before, and we lose the ability to create something new and exciting. The only way to break free from this cycle is to train ourselves to live in the present moment, in the unknown. We must step out of our comfort zones and embrace uncertainty and unpredictability. We must learn to regulate our state and not let fear take over. The act of mentally rehearsing who we want to be and what we want to achieve is crucial. By closing our eyes and envisioning our future selves, we begin to install new neurological hardware in our brains. We start to create a new record, one that is not based on our past, but on our desires and intentions for the future. This fifth-dimensional creation is not about going anywhere or getting anything. Instead, it's about collapsing space and time and drawing experiences to us. By combining a clear intention, a coherent thought, and a coherent heart, We can create a vibrational match between our energy and the potential that exists in the quantum field. We become a vortex, drawing the experiences we desire to us. If we revisit this energetic signature every single day, we don't have to go out and find these experiences. They find us. The new job, the new house, the new relationship, they all come to us because we are broadcasting a new signature into the quantum field. We become the architects of our own lives, creating something new and exciting every single day. But this process requires work and dedication. We must be willing to step out of our comfort zones and embrace uncertainty. We must be willing to let go of the past and create a new record, one that is based on our desires and intentions for the future. It's time to break free from the known and embrace the unknown. It's time to create a new reality, one that is filled with infinite possibilities and endless potential. So let's take that first step. Let's step into that river of change, and let's create the lives we have always dreamed of. In the world of creation, there is a point where one forgets about themselves entirely. At that moment, they become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and in no time. They become pure consciousness. This state of mind is the elegant moment of the generous present moment, where all possibilities in the quantum field truly exist. To achieve this state of mind is the real work in the creative process. The majority of people create reality through what is known as three-dimensional creation. They focus on matter and try to change it. For example, if someone wants a good job, they may apply to 100 different jobs, go on 20 interviews, and spend 3 months searching for a job. However, they may not even like the job they end up with. When looking for a new partner, they may spend hours on Match.com searching for a perfect match. This type of creation is based on taking matter through space, which defines real time as we know it. However, there is another way to create reality. By taking our attention off of matter, off of objects, and off of the particle, we can begin to sense energy and space. When we focus on nothing, our brain waves begin to change from beta to alpha. This is not just alpha waves where the inner world becomes more real, but also very coherent brainwave patterns. When we are under stress and trying to control a person or a situation, our attention is constantly shifting, causing the brain to become unfocused. However, when we open our focus and allow our brain to acclimate, different parts of the brain begin to unify and synchronize. What syncs in the brain links in the brain, meaning that when our brain is coherent, we are also coherent. This synchronization of the brain is visible during a retreat after a few days. We can see large areas of the brain begin to synchronize, and we can see the left side of the brain talk to the right side of the brain. The front part of the brain talks to the back, and we see this whole brain state start to take shape. People in this state feel so complete and whole that they no longer feel the need to want anything. It is at this moment that magic happens. We can measure this in the brain through a strip chart. We see downloads happening, epiphanies occurring, and the person getting information from the field beyond their senses. The nervous system is the superconductor of consciousness, and it is through this that we are able to tap into the raw information that is beyond our senses. The concept of vibrational energy and its impact on human consciousness has become a hot topic in recent times. While some people believe that certain beings or entities are interested in the human race and interact with us on a vibrational level, others argue that our own consciousness and energy levels attract certain experiences and entities. It is believed that if a person is suffering, feeling guilt, shame, unworthiness, or any other negative emotion, it attracts negative consciousnesses that feed off these energies. The longer a person stays in this negative state, the weaker their vibrational frequency becomes. This weakened state can lead to the person being destroyed by parasitic entities that thrive on low-frequency energy. On the other hand, a person who raises their frequency to a higher level through selfless love, compassion, and empathy is more likely to attract positive, higher-frequency beings. These beings operate at a different level of consciousness, and their presence is more spiritual than physical. When a person's frequency is raised to such a level, they become a vibrational match for higher frequency beings, which creates an opening for those entities to influence the person's future positively. These beings operate in a field that is not limited to the three-dimensional reality we experience, but rather connected to a higher spiritual realm. It is important to note that not all entities that interact with us on a vibrational level have positive intentions. Some entities are known to feed off negative emotions and energies like jealousy, envy, resentment, and competition. These entities thrive on low-frequency energy and can only exist when a person's vibrational frequency is low. When a person moves beyond negative emotions and energies, these entities can no longer host on them, and the person experiences a sense of freedom. The ultimate goal is for humans to connect to the divine, become divine, open our hearts, and trust again. Our intention should be to teach our bodies emotionally what our future could feel like, to trade negative emotions for love, and practice love and compassion. One way to achieve this is through attending events that teach us to raise our vibrational frequency through coherent heart and brain function. Coherence in the heart means that a person's heart rate variability is in sync with their breathing pattern, leading to an expansion of the energy field around their body up to 3 meters wide. This expansion creates a Wi-Fi signal that attracts positive entities. Similarly, coherence in the brain means that a person's neocortex, which is responsible for rational thinking, is suppressed, and the limbic brain, responsible for emotions and feelings, is activated. The pineal gland, which is located in the brain, is then tuned into a higher frequency, creating a Wi-Fi signal that attracts positive entities. I want to share with you a personal experience that I had while hosting an advanced event in Florida called Dreamtime. The event was held for people who had done advanced workshops and were interested in exploring the mystical realm. The event started at 11 p.m. and went on till 8 in the morning. My intention was to keep the participants between worlds, between wakefulness and sleep, in the theta realm. We aimed to provide them with a profound transcendental experience during the event. One morning, after the event had finished, I went to my room to meditate. I had just finished my meditation and was lying down when I saw a beautiful fractal pattern with my eyes closed in the room. It was an order, a packet, a standing wave of information that I sensed and saw unfolding. It felt like it was right next to me, and I was amazed. I heard it laugh, and it sounded like a symphony, like a harmony. This experience made me realize that fifth-dimensional creation has nothing to do with going anywhere to get anything.